Hey folks, this is my 2012 Kia Optima Hybrid. It's got 131,000 miles on it. What do you have to do to replace the plugs on a 4-cylinder Kia? It's pretty easy. Just grab a hold of this. Well, let me get two hands on this. What we're going to do today, I'm going to try to speed this up. We're going to remove this 10mm bolt. We're going to remove the wire. How do we remove the control wire for the so there's two nubs on here. Just pull them up. Once you pull them up, there is a push button like here. Push that and pull it out. It's a waterproof socket, and we're just going to do one at a time here today. Yeah, I removed all 4 of the bolts. Now I'm going to remove, I don't know if that's number 1 or number 4, but the first one, coil pack, I'm going to remove it right now. And this is what your coil pack looks like. It's got a nipple for the spark plug, and you know, the weatherproof or weather resistant connector. So we're just going to set that aside here, and hopefully it doesn't run away, fall down and break. So the next part is, I'm going to show you down in there. There's where the spark plug resides. You can look down in there. And so in order to get that out, what we're going to use the 5/8 inch spark plug wrench, 6 inches suction extension, and a 3/8 inch drive Craftsman ratchet here. So I'll be right back. Once I got that loose, I'm going to remove the ratchet and just twist it out by hand like this. So we're going to grab this first spark plug. I got to grab one more tool. All I got is a gap checker. So I'm pretty sure this gap is correct, but it's always good to check it. And like I said, it's about 28 thousandths of an inch, which is 0.028. Between 28 and 29. It went right up to 28 thousandths of an inch. So the next thing I'm going to do is use this anti-seize lubricant. What you do is put that on the threads of anything that you're going to screw into an aluminum block. It'll actually work on steel also, but aluminum is very problematic, and if you have a problem with the threads, you're going to ruin that head, and you're going to need some expensive machine work. Okay, you can see it's a silverish looking lubricant, and you don't have to cover them completely. I found kind of get it at the end towards the tip, so that as you screw it in, it'll cover all of the threads. And so the next step, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Now, how I'm going to do that, this spark plug wrench has a piece of rubber inside that grips the spark plug's insulator. So now we're going to run that down. Now you want to do this by hand. I always thread it in by hand until it's snug tight, and you know that's not going to be a turn or two. You're going to run it down. You know, that's over an inch long. Have that turned down in there by hand tight. And now we're going to stick the ratchet, and we're going to tighten it up. And when I tighten these, I guess people can get a torque wrench out. I torque it by just gripping it like that and tightening it. You don't want to reach out here and tighten that like that. You will strip the threads out. So don't do that, folks. You don't want to do it that way. So I have the spark plug in, and now the hard part is that spark plug wrench. Oh my goodness, it came out this time. So last time I had to use a pair of needle nose to reach down in there and grab that out. So we got lucky this time. We're going to put the coil pack back in, but we're going to put some dielectric grease. Dielectric grease. I'm sorry about the lighting conditions here, folks. Dielectric grease. This is a Permatex product like the last. There's other brands, but you know, this is what they had at the Kubota store where I bought them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little of that dielectric grease in there, which what that does is helps keep the moisture out and also facilitates a connection. I put the nut back, or the bolt back in, and I'm going to hand tighten that. And that way what I'm going to do is once I get all of them done, I will put the 10mm back on the ratchet and tighten them all down at the same time. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of them, and I'll be back. I put it in like this as I push it down and then turn it, and that'll help spread that grease out a little bit. I don't know if it is, you know, helps or not. It can't hurt. I think it'll help spread the grease out more evenly inside. That's my theory behind it. And again, I'm going to just hand tighten this bolt. I like to run them down hand tight, and then if there's a problem, I run less of a risk of stripping threads. And so that's tight in there. So here they are. The first cylinder I removed, the second cylinder, the third cylinder, and the fourth cylinder. The first one, this being first, it's the plug that came out by the oil fill cap. And so I'm looking at these, and the number 3 cylinder looks to be the worst. 2 and 4 look about the same, and I don't remember that when I put that on. But one thing I can tell you is this fourth one was the most difficult. The most difficult to remove. Take those plugs out for the first time. Go steady. You might even want to work it back and forth, you know. Don't just try to twist it out, but twist it out a little bit and then back it off like you're tightening it, and then go back and then just work it back and forth until you clean those threads. That'll help you if you get a sticky thing, because if the threads get boogered up, you'll have to have your car towed. So what I'm going to do is put a little anti-seize on these 10mm bolts. Okay, so I've tightened all of the 10mm bolts. I've gone back and inspected to ensure that my wires are connected and the locks are in place. And it's good to double check that stuff. So what I'm going to do is remove everything from under the hood. I always like to take a rag and wipe off the road dirt under the hood after I do a little bit of maintenance. Really, you should do that before you crack into it to keep the dirt from going inside the engine. And I guess I do things backwards sometimes. A lot of times. Okay, so you know, it used to be a common practice when I was a young man. Take your car down to the car wash and put a buck in the machine and spray your engine with a product called gunk and hose your engine off with the high pressure car wash. But I don't think that's such a great idea anymore with everything that's so electronic in this thing, and the computers cost so much, and you pay just to get it hooked onto the computer for them to analyze it. So just wipe it off. Just, you know, when you open the hood up, take it in a rag and wipe things down. Let me get in the car and start it. I'm running at 1 hour and 2 minutes. So it started right up. Sounds good. Sounds nice and smooth. And over the next week, month, I will see how it works out. And put that, I call it a shield, engine cover. Let me put that engine cover back on. It's just a press fit. I just tilt it back, line up the tube back here, and then drop it forward. So I put it in like that, line them up, drop it forward, and then push down on all four corners and secure it. So, well, I better wrap this up. I've been going about an hour and 10 minutes on this. You won't see an hour and 10 minute video. I'm going to edit it down and put this up. It'll be about a 15-minute video. And, well, thank you all for watching. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked the information I gave you, give me a thumbs up.